Hi, today I have a message called Being is Perfect Everywhere. Starting with something that was provocative that triggered me, but I can see the benefit in it. So the first statement was, are you damned or are you saved? Now this would refer to how I'm using my mind, because ego was set up to condemn everything, or to especially elevate some things while condemning others. So ego has both elevation, condemnation, worship, damning, all of it. It has the up and the down. And from my perspective, I can look and see, is my mind open to what spirit wants to communicate, or is it closed? Am I oriented toward love, or am I oriented toward fear? Or the same set of opposites, because spirit will use the opposites we made for our learning and unlearning. So to use the more provocative, religious language oriented ones, it's the same thing. Are you saved or are you damned? Are you condemning yourself and all others you see around you, whether you're especially elevating them or condemning them? It doesn't matter, it's the same thing. Or are we going to save everybody with no exceptions? Save from what? From what I imagined. Am I willing to see them as they are, as they always have been, and as they always will be? And this will seem to save them from what I have, from the condemnation that I have imagined. And any eye can say, I have imagined all the condemnation there is to see in this world, because we're all the same I. So any eye can say that. It's not just one separate eye and not the other ones. This is imagination. So am I willing to allow everything within my sight and experience to emerge out of what I've imagined on top of it? That's the same thing. But when seemingly religious and judgmental religious language gets used, I do jump back a little bit, and it's interesting to see, oh, I don't have to do that. I can just let the language get used, and it doesn't have to affect a separate me. But where there's that jumping back from it, that's where the separate me is still used, visible, active, where I still find it practical. So having that little alarm go off and feeling that is a good way of seeing, well, where are you still attached? Right there. The gifts you accept for everyone. So if you think of a day as a day of receiving gifts from everyone, through everything. And if we have that openness of, I am willing to receive in whatever situation we're in, whoever we're with. This is not about deciding about specific things to take or extract, but just a general openness. I'm willing to receive, because what you are, what this is, truly is abundant. And there are gifts everywhere. And if we can walk through the day with this orientation, then we can accept these gifts and share these gifts on behalf of everyone. And what would these gifts be? Well, if our minds are all joined, thoughts that make the world we perceive and experience, thoughts that lead to experience, that help us remember who we are and help us become aware of the abundance in which we're always held and guided. So if we're oriented toward gifts, we're oriented both toward receiving, accepting, and sharing, giving. And yeah, it seems we do the giving first in time, but this is about, how are you going to walk through your day? Are you going to be shut down to everything that wants to pour in to bless you and everything? Are you going to be open and available to accept everything that's here for you? And when we feel at peace, we're open. When we don't feel good, we've closed down. But if we know during those times we're closing down to gifts, we might want to relax back into the open state where we're available to receive. It seems so simple, but when we believe the world can cause our closed down state and not ourselves, not a choice that we make, then we think we have no control over it. But when it's up to us to be available in every situation for the gifts that are always within every single situation, then we are open to give, to receive, to share. There is a universal peace, calm, and love for all to enjoy. So wherever we go, no matter what seems to be on top, covering up what's actually here, what's always actually here is peace. We bring it with us and we find it wherever we go, in whomever we meet. It's just there. That's the part about us we can't change. This stillness, this calm, it's everywhere. It's in everything. It's the thing you can't do anything about. And then we might see surfaces on top of that, but those are the surfaces we wanted to see. We can only experience them if we wanted to, if we valued something more. So learning to look consistently through whatever surface to the peace that's here, to the calm and stillness that's here, to the love that's here. Everyone's primary identity and address is the love they are. And that's it. It's very simple. If I'm seeing and experiencing something different, it's because I wanted to, but I can always reset. And that's what time is for. It's for resetting. It's for reorienting. Okay, take a look at perfectionism. This would be my belief that a form that the ego calls perfect is the cause of happiness. So if the form can please this separate me, then I have a reason to be happy. If the form is here and I call it displeasing, then that's the reason for a separate me to be unhappy. And I can look at all kinds of others in the world and see and look and think, if the forms surrounding them meet their standards, then they have reason to be happy. If the forms that they take or the forms that seem to be surrounding them do not meet their standards, then they have reason to be unhappy. And everything the ego offers us is based on this idea, the perfection of form. But if form is given a new job, not to be molded in a certain way to make us happy, but just to conform to the happiness, the joy that everyone already is, to reflect back the peace and the joy that everyone already is, then form has its own job and you don't have to mess with it in an attempt to make it perfect. You may feel inspired or guided to interact with form in some way, and you find that out as you go along. But there's no burden on anyone to make a particular form perfect or good enough in order to make you or anyone else happy. The form conforms to the harmony amongst us, to the love we are, to the love that connects us, the more that we pay attention to that, the form just conforms. It always ends up being very simple, very, very simple. Okay, so being is perfect everywhere, and form can be allowed to reflect that, pretty much what I just said. But if you think of everywhere, in everyone, as their true nature, is perfection. The perfection's already here. We covered it up in layers of form. And those layers of form, and even the past of form, seem to tell us very many different things about ups and downs, and positives and negatives, about every event, person, entity. All the memory of what the form has done, all of that seems to tell us some very active stories about everyone and everything.